Grab your popcorn, kick back and relax, because it's time for some more Karnage. So, in today's video, we're going to be checking out the top shield hit for Outworks. So, we will go into the operation, which has the hardest version of this that I could find. So, this one has Bullet. I will explain Bullet's purpose in just a moment. So, 2 mines. Those are going to be hit with artillery. There is an artillery cost reduction tribe right now, which makes it very cheap. We can take that out with about 3 gunboat energy. Bullet's purpose is because of this rocket, mostly just to distract, because to shock both of them constantly would be expensive. A little bit more GBE than what we're going to have. So let's get into the attack anyway. So 4 times the standard group along the beach. As we get a little closer to this flare, we're going to be reflaring up. That flare is about 3 tiles away from that sniper tower, and it is in line with the middle of that sniper tower, which is the important thing. Of course, the grouping here at the start could have been a little bit better, so they hold a tighter path. We did lose the delay on that, which means we have to group the smokes together a little bit more than what we probably would like to. I think maybe a flare earlier on, maybe just to keep them grouped up a little bit more, would have been better. You can see that the Zookas here, the next flare was placed just before they got, like a little bit before they even got to the flare. The easiest way to look at this one is actually the power cell just above the flare. It is in line with the left tile of that, almost in between them, but not quite. It's just a little bit to the right of being in between both of those cells. That's sort of how I look at it. That's how I help position the flares sort of close to where he has them. The flare placement is perfect. I just think the initial grouping wasn't. So as they get a little bit closer here, we will see a flare being placed up there. Yep. So that will allow them to go up. Now this flare placement wasn't perfect. It was placed a little bit to the right of the corner. I would personally have it in the corner, just so they hold a little bit more of a tighter path going down these power cells. But that's just me. So we're going to see, it's really impossible, it's almost impossible to tell. But as, I should go up here and say it. As Bullet is walking through this barbed wire, just as he's going through it, we're going to see the shock bomb placed. Now, and it's going to be placed sort of on the corner of the cannon. Now, because it's hard to see the press, I'm going to be looking at the gunboat energy, the gunboat cannon, for as it comes out. So we're going to be half timesing. Okay, so you're seeing the shock bomb there, and he was just on his way out. So I will half time so you can see it drop, and he did get some of his Zookas, so you can see it got him there. He did get some of his Zookas, which was a bit of a shame, but it's not going to be an end-all sort of to the attack. So initially we're going to be shocking both. I did miss the timing on that, unfortunately. So I will go back and I will show you guys that timing. Pretty much standard from the rest of these videos if you've been following along with the series though. One of the important things is the distance between Bullet and the shock and the troops, because when the shock launcher hits it, it won't kill any Zookas, which is an important thing. So he's letting that rocket launcher fire a little bit. Now that was a mistake in my opinion. I would have shocked it. But he did manage to get all the shields down in this attack, which is great. There was some Zookas that he shocked that stayed alive, which distracted the shock launcher the first time. But you can see those shock launchers hit Bullet just now, and no Zookas died, which sort of proves the point that Bullet played a really good role in this attack to distract. And all of them went down, which again is the important thing in this attack. we've got all of the jobs done that we really needed to do, and that's the top shield. So we will go back and look at that shock timing, although I think you could probably guess what that timing is if you have been watching this series. But I like to show everything, so we will go back through that. I do have another version with a slightly different building layout for Outworks, so I will show you guys that in just a moment as well. Just so you guys can see sort of the different buildings that can be used for your flare locations going up on the walk. Pretty much the same flares though, just using different buildings to sort of get a bit of an indicator towards what's happening. So whoa. Okay, so we'll look at this in half times. There we go. So we can see the press that just happened. So about 10 o'clock, just slightly above 9 o'clock. So you guys can see what the timing is on those top smokes there. So I hope you guys really have enjoyed this series. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. Yeah, I know I've been saying that a lot in these videos. More in anticipation, because I have put a lot of work into this series so far. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking on my end not to know if people are liking it or not yet. But I will try to reduce talking about it as much as I can, just because I feel like I'm getting annoying. So you can see in this version, no rocket on the right side there, which means we don't need bullet. Only one shock launcher for the top. So this is going to be good. Pretty much a pretty different building layout. So the first flare is going to be the same. We're not really having to worry too much about the rockets that are in range, so we can get a bit of a better grouping at the front. But that's not really going to matter too much. So that first flare was pretty much the same, just the middle of, in line with the middle of that sniper tower. As long as it's close, within a tile or two, that's good. Did lose a bit of Zookas because of the spacing there. So the next one is going to be sort of on the same line as what that last flare was, because that's what we're going for here. It's going to be on the right corner of this flamethrower. That's what he's using as a guide. I'm pretty sure from memory that they don't take a tight path through here. So he probably could have placed that flare in the middle of the flamethrower and got a tighter path where they didn't walk down the right side. That would have been my sort of guess on what would have happened there. Placed that corner flare not perfectly in the corner, a little bit more to the right, which is what this guy seems to like doing a lot on this. That means that they didn't walk on both sides of those buildings, and they actually did avoid this mine, which was probably a good thing in this case. Not having to time any shocks for bullet, which is good because we don't have bullet. Should only need like 2, maybe 3 shocks to get this down. So timing that flare pretty nicely to get that front one. Probably could have avoided doing that with just natural spreading, given that everything was going to pretty much go down the same way anyway. So timing that shock again, and boom, the shields will go down in just a moment. And there we go. So I think you can see like how much he's destroying now. He didn't need to place that flare on that first one. He could have very easily have killed everything without doing that, I feel like. But anyway, that's been a video, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I tried to show both paths because of the slightly different layouts and the buildings that you use as an indicator. But I think it's a pretty easy standard path. I think once you have a basic knowledge of how Zookas work, I think you can pretty much guess like some of the flare locations and sort of rework the flares just a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smack the thumbs up button. Tell me what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.